Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about guardianship and why guardianship is a legal time machine. So one of the things that I love to do is to talk to other lawyers and clinicians because amongst other things I'm a Florida bar approved CLE provider, continuing legal education credit provider. And I talk to the lawyers about Marchman Act and Guardianship and Baker Act. And when it gets to guardianship, I show them a photograph of the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So for those of us who are old enough to remember Back to the Future, Marty McFly drives or flies this DeLorean and it takes him, either back in time or forwards in time, but it's a time machine. And so I show that photograph because that's what guardianship is. Guardianship is a time machine. And it enables us to go back into time and get a family authority that they would have had when their loved one was not, determined by law to be an adult. So once you get to 18, you get to make all these decisions, about how you conduct your life. One of which is obviously, your medical and mental health decisions. So you're in charge of your own decisions. And now you have a severe behavioral health issue and your family wants to get you into treatment. So one of the tools that we use, other than Marchman Act and Baker Act, and we may be using all three, depending on the case and depending on what relief the family needs, one of the tools that we love to use is guardianship. Now, guardianship was traditionally used for elderly people. And so I have to give credit in this video to my amazing wife who practiced up in Massachusetts doing guardianship work for about a dozen years before we met. And she is the guru of guardianship and using guardianship specifically for behavioral health issues. But one of the reasons that we love it is that it really gives us maximum control over what is typically an out of control situation. By the time families get to us, they're done. They've hit rock bottom and we're the last port of call to save them, their family, and their loved one. And while we are a big fan of Marchman Act only gives very limited control. It basically says, you'll go to treatment for the next 90 days, and if you don't, then we go talk to the judge. That's basically what it says, and it has to be for a primary substance use disorder. Okay, it contemplates co-occurring mental illness, but it really is designed for primary substance use, alcohol, drugs, abuse of prescription medications, those types of things. Guardianship can be applied to those things, but it can also be applied to other types of behavioral health issues. For instance, an eating disorder. Eating disorders are really great when for guardianship because they don't fit within the wheels of a Marchman Act, and you don't want to Baker Act this person because we know what happens if you get Baker Acted. So guardianship is a powerful tool for that. But of course, if this person is over 18 or 18 and over, well, then how does the family get them into treatment? Well, so what we do is we're going to file for a guardianship. We're going to jump into our legal time machine, our guardianship DeLorean, and we're going to go back in time and take away the legal authority for your loved one to be able to make their own decisions. It's as if we jumped in the DeLorean and went back in time to when they were 17, 16, 15, whatever it was, when you as the parent had the legal authority to make decisions for them and they did not have that authority. And that's what guardianship does. It turns the clock back, right? So that we can take authority away and give it over here to mom and dad so they can start making decisions for their loved one, specifically to make sure they go to treatment and have access to their medical records and make sure they're treatment compliant, okay, and determine where they live and who they spend time with. We could also take away their driver's license. We can restrict their ability to travel. I mean, you can do so many amazing things with guardianship if you know how to use it in a behavioral health setting. Remember, we're not dealing with elderly people here. We're dealing with typically 25 to 45-year-olds. That's our usual wheelhouse. And so understanding how to apply guardianship for those particular individuals is very, very important if you want to get it right and you want to get it right first time. So when we're talking guardianship, we're talking time machine, legal time machine. So happy to share that with you. I'm very excited to share that with you. It's something I typically only share with the lawyers and clinicians, but I wanted you to learn more about how guardianship can help you and the wonderful ways it can help you to get control of what is typically a very out of control situation by the time you call us. In any event, thank you for tuning into this video. please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please post them. I read them all. And I try to get back to folks within, if it's not the same day, certainly within 24 hours. But I appreciate those comments. And just know that by posting a comment, there's almost certainly another family out there, somebody else who's also suffering, who wants to ask that exact same question and is glad that you did. So with that said, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.